Welcome back. We're still here. It's Classic Candlepins coming to you from Amesbury, Massachusetts, our entire crew. And I'm Kyle Bruce. I'm here with my partner, the legendary Frank DeLuca. And we're here to cover the first round of our 4-week ladder series, the Women of Candlepin Bowling. Our match will feature Deb Regan from Manchester, New Hampshire, going against Melissa Caissie here from Amesbury. And one of the things I do want to cover right off the top is that our 5th seed was Joanne Rosano, who finished with a 526. Because we've been buried, Frank, with 10,000 feet of snow this winter, through no fault of her own, Joanne couldn't be for our the next tape date that we had for this ladder series, and that's why Deb Regan is here to face Melissa. The plan is that we're going to have Joanne back when we have our mixed ladder series in the summer, or actually in the spring, late spring anyhow. Hopefully it'll feel like summer by then.
I certainly hope so. I'm still trying to dry off from being buried in snow, Kyle.
I know it. Or just have the body temperature go back to,
98.6.
I would certainly take that. What can you tell our viewers? Deb Regan, Melissa Caissie, they both have big numbers. They both have been around a long time.
Absolutely, they're two veteran bowlers. They're what you'd expect out of the best in women's candlepin bowling.
One of the things I also wanted to cover is the kind of match that we should expect out of these two, because when you have I believe Melissa has a high triple of 421. Deb Regan's is over 450.
Mm-hmm.
Anything can happen.
Absolutely. And given the fact that Melissa has home house advantage, that could work in her favor, may not work in her favor.
Well, it should be a great match. This is our first round matchup. The winner of this will face the Hall of Famer, Janet Pock, next week. We'll be back with our post-match show right after the end of the match. Hope you enjoy it. We made it back. It's Classic Candlepins coming from the frozen tundra known as Amesbury, Massachusetts. My name is Kyle Bruce, and I'm here with Frank DeLuca and Rich Lamoni. We're going to have a ladder series featuring the women of Candlepin bowling. Today's match will feature Deb Regan against Melissa Caissie. And Rich, if you could give our loyal viewers some insight on Deb Regan, today's 5th seed.
Well, she's definitely a veteran of the game. She's been around a long time, I enjoy bowling with her once a month up in Park Place. She kills up there. So, I can't imagine that this is going to be any different, and it's going to be fun to watch.
Well, we certainly look forward to this match. Frank, I'd like your insight on someone who's a rookie to this establishment here in Amesbury, and that would be Melissa Caissie.
Well, I'm not sure I'd classify her as a rookie, but of course, I know you're being sarcastic. Melissa is somewhat fresh off an injury, but she's ready to roll, as you can see. I think she's going to use her home field advantage, and it'll be for an interesting match.
We look forward to it. The winner of this match will face the Hall of Famer, Janet Pock. We'll be right back with you after this timeout.
And from this angle, it all makes a star.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore.
Show up
and frustration, a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible.
And then we're going to turn the lights and everybody look up.
I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought.
Finally won. What's your reaction going to be? Yeah, exactly.
And unconventional methods.
Okay, what else?
Common.
This is their world.
There's nothing.
And then they die. Go ahead, go.
I'm a teacher. I make more.
Deb Regan will be on lane 7 on the approach. She's our 5th seed. Deb is from Manchester, New Hampshire, a veteran of the Candlepin wars over the years. Has some work to do to start, get out of this first box here.
Oh, that's how to work a great out of that.
Nice out.
Just leaves the 5-pin, has a 9 box. She moves over to lane 6.
Looking at a split right now.
A little too full in the head pin there.
Oh, welcome to, we have a newcomer on the show today.
Yes, Frank.
Thanks,
the,
guys.
The legendary Frank Face.
Very happy to be here.
3, 6, 10 on the right, 7 and 8.
Almost converts it, just a little bit off of the 3-pin. Just looking at the 3 and 7.
Great
And
out.
a 10 box. So 19 after 2 for Deb, and here's our 4th seed, Melissa Caissie. Again, I jest that she's a rookie. Full horseman right plus the 8-pin. Her ball breaks quite a bit from right to left. Just missed the object that time.
For as long as I can remember, Ball's had that hook. And this is not a new approach for her, so it's had some success over the years.
And she settles in with an 8 box.
On to lane 6.
Buries the pocket there. We have our first nickel of the day, Kyle. We
I'm
have the
too
check-
poor. I've had to give all my money to our
the
plow
ch-
guy.
We have the check mark.
Misses her object there.
She takes out the 7-pin. She's left with the 245. I'm sorry.
And an 8 box, so a pair of 8s to start. Right on the head pin that time, but
Yep.
looking
He's
at
5'10".
the Woolworth.
The Woolworth.
Deb's the owner of a 191 high single, a big 454 high triple. Lost that one a bit. And then an 8 box will put her at 27 after 3. As I mentioned before, the winner of this match will face the Hall of Famer Janet Pock.
Deb was just off the head pin there. She used the 4 horseman right.
Just missing, trying to go outside on that head pin. Which you've said is the way to do it here, Rich.
I think it's the way to do it at a lot of places. I find it, I get more action. I don't know. It seems to work better for me, but maybe I'm just a weird guy.
I'd agree with that.
I think
That I'm a weird guy?
Yes.
Deb has 35 after 4. Looking for our first mark of the contest here. And Melissa got some action off the head pin that time, looking at the 4 horseman right plus the Sleeper being the 5 on the back. Tough shot here. Good bid that time, but Melissa will be open. Melissa, big 191 high single. And she has a 9 box, which will put her at 25. Deb with the early 2-pin advantage.
It's a long way to go.
Nearly the same leave, but also has the 9 in the back.
That piece of wood, if it gets moving, could do some damage up there.
And
Yes.
there it is.
Nice shot. Spare in the 4th for Melissa.
We have our first mark of the day.
That's a good-looking ball, trying to get that corner out. Maybe the,
And there it goes.
So Deb has a spare leave, 6-10 in the corner.
Just slides by outside.
I think she's going to do the same ball that time. That makes 3 consecutive 8s. But as we saw on that first ball, she may have made the adjustment on 7. Let's see if she can do it on lane 6 here. Just missed the head pin that time. She's looking at 1-3-7-10.
Deb's had a lot of success up at Park Place this year in the once-a-month league. They took the first half. They came in first place.
Do you know who's on the rest of that team?
Irby Kefalis, Taylor Ball, and Marguerite. Now, she told me her last name and it escapes me.
It's all right. Deb's at 52 after 6 here. Melissa's back up. She'll be filling her spare in the 4th. Got a good break. But
Some late mixing action for the 1-7-10 7 fill.
see if that one in the back that's perpendicular to the pin. That was a nice looking bid. Ball looked like it broke right about the last 10 feet or so. And an 8 bucks. So at the halfway point, Melissa's at 50. See what's going on over there.
I am, yes, I'm a little quiet.
Very good.
What a ball
Big
that
hit
was.
and
That's a
ball.
Big 10.
Her second mark of the match. Warming up here, just warming up. Our first round matchup on Classic Candlepins.
Deb was a little off the head pin there. She took out the left Worcester, including the 5-pin.
Like a good shot going in, but didn't quite get the mixing action she was looking for. She still has 3 pins standing.
Another 8 box for Deb.
Light hit.
Mixing
and
it. Oh, she matches the strike.
her first mark of the match. And Melissa's back up, filling her strike. Here's the first bonus ball.
She's got a chance.
That looked like a much better ball than that leave.
That 10 pin
Wow.
is not going to go.
She's got the 5, 7, 8, 10.
Should try to see if she can get some of that wood that was in the channel to keep moving. It'll fill her strike with 6, which will put her at 66.
And what a nine.
5, 7, 8, no wood is not an easy shot.
Back on the head.
Big
pin.
hit again. Looking at the single, which is the 7 pin. Not sure if that wood's going to be a roadblock or not.
I feel like as long as she's left of that red line, she'll be fine.
Oh, you're right, Kyle.
Again. On again.
You guys are the expert analysts. I have really nothing to contribute in terms of...
According to you, we are.
As long as somebody thinks we're an expert, I'm okay with it.
Hey, that's why you guys are here. Melissa's at 84 right now.
Well, that's because all the real experts want to be paid.
Correct.
Right.
Yes. This is Deb's first bonus ball, and she got a break.
She sure did.
1-3-6 is the lead. Good chance here to go spare on strike.
And she has a
Looks
chance.
good.
She's all
There
over
it
it.
is.
Well, this makes things interesting.
Another good looking shot. She's going to have a single pin to pick up. That'll put her at 99. 7 pin, and it looks like she'll have enough room to get by it.
There it
Yes.
is.
Shot.
Deb and her exuberance over her second half didn't fill her spare here. Got some good mixing action again. Fills her with 8.
117.
117 first string.
Melissa on the head can get some great action.
Melissa breaks up the split. She's looking at the 4 pin.
Favorable wood. And there she has it.
That's Melissa's 3rd mark. .74 half by Deb. Get that 117.
Melissa on the head pin leaves the right check mark. She's got 3, 5, 6, 10. 6 fill puts her at an even 100 in the 9th.
Slid by the object that time, so Deb will have the lead in our first string.
$10
Nice check.
for 110.
So after our first string, we've got a good one going. Deb Regan is at 117. Melissa Caissie's at 110. We'll be back with the start of our second string right after this timeout.
And then from this angle, it all makes a star.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore.
Show up and
And frustration,
absorb
a
what people
tool,
are giving you.
not an obstacle.
It's a
I make working hard seem easy. And giving up, impossible.
And then we're gonna turn the lights and everybody look up.
I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought.
Finally won.
What's your reaction gonna be? Yeah, exactly.
And unconventional methods
Okay, what else?
common.
Little tadpoles, the frogs, the spiders, this is their world.
There's nothing.
And then they die. Go ahead, go, go, go.
I'm a teacher. I make more.
It's our second string. We're back on Classic Candlepins. Melissa Caissie is trailing by 7 on lane 7. Looking at the Caleri right now. 4 horsemen right plus the 8 with that wooden back. Ball broke a little too soon that time. And heavy on number 1, so that'll be a 7 box to start our second string. Along with Rich Lamoni and Frank DeLuca, I'm Kyle Bruce. Our entire crew, delighted to have you with us here for our first round matchup, profiling the women of Candlepin bowling.
Melissa was on the head pin there, that last ball.
And the 7 pin is reluctant to go.
About to say, left the 2, 4, 7, 8. Just almost made it.
And Melissa will be 17 after 2. And up on lane 7 is Deb Regan, who leads by 7 coming into the match. Or into the second string, I should say. She's got some good action off the head pin, looking at the 1 and the 9.
She got a lot of movement there. Carried the 4 and the 7. That looked like it was going to be an ugly leave.
She's going to want to be full in the head pin.
Yes.
What a shot.
That actually makes 4 marks in a row, going back to the spare on strike that Deb had in the 8th box. And she nets 6 on her bonus ball.
Right now, she's getting some good movement if she's off the head pin, so it's continuing to work in her favor.
Just sliding by the head pin that time. Wanted to go outside on that. Good shot of Deb right there. And a 10 box. Put her at 26. Now wait a minute. What do you call that?
It's definitely not a check mark. I can't say it's a check mark. I can't claim the nickel for it. I mean, it's the pins that comprise the check mark, but the 5 pin is definitely not in the spot that it should have been.
That was a great shot.
That should have gone. She hit that right where you needed to, right on the 3 pin.
Score that a 9. Well, that 5 seemed to slide a foot or what have you.
Right
Buries
in the
it
pocket
in the
there.
pocket.
She's got the 7 pin with the plank for a spare leave.
It's nice that plank is right up against the lip of the deck.
Yes.
There it goes.
Melissa's first mark of the second string. Nice to get those singles.
Yeah, she's 2 for 3.
Wow, another break.
That was a great break. Leaves the 1-2.
She knew as soon as she left it go that she held on to it a little too long.
Ooh.
Just wasn't
That's
there.
a tough break.
Moving over to lane 6 now. Drop that one a bit. 4 horsemen right.
It almost looked like she stuck on the floor for a second there.
A little too full.
Still 3 pins standing.
Just looking at the 2-6-10 right now. She goes for the 2 pins.
Good out.
Deb is at 43 right now. Melissa's at 36, but she'll be filling a spare in the 4th. Good looking ball, and she fills it with 7. Triangle right, 6, 9, 10.
That ties the score after box is completed. For the string, anyway.
Ball broke a little late that time. It's going to be hard when your ball breaks that much when you have to shoot at shots that are on the right side that time, as Melissa settles in with an 8 box and a 51 half.
That's why it amazes me on someone like Hawk Hallis, who has some of the biggest breaks out there. I don't know how he hits the 10 pin, but he does every time. Every time, guys, like automatic.
That's why he's in the Hall of Fame.
Indeed.
We were there, and if you go on the Classic Candlepins YouTube page, you can see our 2-part presentation. Melissa went outside that time on the 1 and 2, and could not carry the 2 pin, so she'll be open and will be 60 after 6. Deb kind of dropped that one at the line, but she's looking at 1, 3, and 10.
Not a bad leave considering.
Absolutely.
It's a good chance. Nope. What a
shot for a 10.
110 is not an easy shot to make.
Puts Deb
Make
at
it
53.
Make it for a 10. You should be pretty pleased.
Lead is 9 overall for Deb Regan. There's a nice shot of her right there. And this time she cannot carry the extra pin. She has a split 2, 4, 6, and 7. Tough shot here.
I didn't like that piece of wood behind the 2. I got the sense that it was going to be really hard to cut over into the 6 pin.
Angle wasn't right on
Nah,
that.
I agree.
9 box.
Lead is 9 overall. Melissa back up on lane 7, box 7, second string. Drop that one at the line. She has 7 pins standing right now. And it may have gone back up the hill, but she has 2 pins standing.
Just looking at the 1 and 3 for a 10 box.
One of the things that we want to mention to fans of Candlepin bowling is that the legendary Frank Face. And
See, you mentioned him and they pulled the camera away.
Yeah, well, that's what happens here.
It's more of a face for radio, I guess.
You get no respect. And I was going to say the legendary Frank Face and Rich. There we go. We look like $100. They are the...
Ooh.
Could not get the 6 and 10.
I feel like she played that correctly, but it just didn't work.
Yeah, you mean you had to hit the head pin in order for that to go. I don't think you could play the wood because if you went really low on it, you weren't going to hit the 6 pin anyway.
Right. Another 10 box from Melissa. Kyle, you were saying?
I was saying that you and Rich are the hosts of the only podcast on Candlepin Bowling. It's called Alley Chat.
That's correct.
You want to tell our listeners about this enterprise?
Sure. We are looking to kind of just create discussion, commentary on the game of Candlepin Bowling. You can check us out at alleychat.freakface.net. Please give us a listen. You can comment. We eventually would like to get some live callers. You can email us questions. We'll talk about it. Check it out. alleychat.freakface.net.
I listened to the first show, and it was outstanding. I'm not sure who you
Thank you, Kyle.
hired to do the voiceover for the intro there, but...
That would be one Kyle Bruce.
Oh, not at all. Not at all.
The introduction to the show is you'll be hearing Kyle's voice in his movie trailer voice, which I would argue is better than most professionals.
Deb was just off the head pin there. She leaves the Caleri, so she's got the 4 horseman right and the 8 pin. That's a nice 10 box out of that.
Nice 10.
So the lead is 9 overall. This is box 9 of string 2, and very nearly a strike as Melissa has the 7 pin to negotiate here.
Just missing the 7 pin.
$10. That'll put her at 90 after 9. She had a 110 to complete her first string here, so she's going to want to mark here, close it out, and she got a break. Looking at the 1 and 3.
She's got a lot of movement there. That worked out for her. See if she can convert it.
Just off the object there.
Correct. Yep.
And a 9 will put her at 99. And a 209 after 2. Deb may have stuck on the approach or slipped, but nice bid, but has the side saddle triangle to make for a 10 box here.
And she does.
Nice shot for
Nice
a 10.
She's at 92 after 9. 2 pin lead in the string, 9 pins overall.
Been matching 10 boxes 7 through 9 here in string number 2.
Pinning's a huge part of the game, you know, as she's in this string, she's bowling second, she's maintaining, so she's not losing ground, which is very important.
Very underrated part of the game, I would say.
Pinning wins matches.
Don't leave any pins on the deck as Deb takes care of the left side here. And a 9 box will put her at 101. and a 218. So after 2 strings, Deb Regan is up by 9 pins, 218 to 209. We'll step away and conclude our first round matchup in Amesbury on Classic Candlepins right after this timeout.
I'm only 17, but I know about investing. Believe in something, buy shares in it, watch it grow. So, what if you could invest in the future? The future of kids, like a stock. Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. I could be one of the first college graduates from my family, the first philanthropist from my neighborhood. And if I'm the first, then maybe there's a second and a third. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow. My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
Welcome back to Classic Candlepins from downtown Amesbury. It's our 3rd string, and Deb Regan is ready to go. Leading by 9 here in our first round matchup. We're delighted to have you with us here. I know it's been a while, but it's good to be back. Good shot at making this here. A little thin on that conversion attempt.
She's looking at the 4, 5, 7 for a 10 box. She's got that piece of wood up against the 4. Hopefully that'll help her pick up a 2 at least.
Deb starting out with a 9, our 5th seed for this ladder. Again, the winner of this first round matchup will face Janet Pock. Four horsemen left plus the 10.
Pin's glued to the floor. I don't know how that 7 pin didn't fall.
And a 7 box. Starter out at 16 after 2.
Melissa steps up to the line.
Brooklyn side and has a tough split. 6, 7, 9. There's wood parallel to the pit in front of the 7, and this is makeable. I think she hits the 6 shot, it's gone.
Maybe?
She capped it.
Wow. Melissa will be open in the first box. She makes the 10.
She does pick up a pin and count. She's only down 8 now.
It's an interesting looking leave, not one you see every day. 2, 4, 7, 9, 10. Wood on the deck. And Melissa surveying the leave and gets ready to fire.
Good bid.
I would have almost played the cap. I think with the hook that she has, it would have sent the wood backwards and it would have sent her ball towards the 10 pin.
That's an interesting approach.
Is that response indicative of a disagreement on that?
No, of course not.
Melissa picks up another pin and count. The lead is down to 7. Deb crushes the head pin there. Leaves the left triangle. 4, 7, 8.
Deb is looking for her first mark since the first ball, or first box, I should say, of string number 2. That'll be a 9 box. That'll put Deb at 25. Looked like the ball was going to go Brooklyn that time, but it slid by the head pin, and she is the 4 horsemen. Right.
Favorable wood.
Looks good.
Yes.
There it is.
Runs it.
Spare in the 4th for Deb Regan.
That could be a huge mark. That could get things rolling again. Like she finished the first string, she could put some real pressure on Melissa.
Took out the left side that time. I'm sorry, Rich.
It's no sorry. You're good.
Oh, very good.
Well, that's no longer the Starline 5.
Wow. That's not one I've heard.
It's the Starline, right? Isn't that what they usually call it?
I believe so. Big 10 box from Melissa Caissie.
She picks up another pin and count. Lead is down to 6, but opposite a fill for Deb here. So
A little full in the head pin.
This will be a tough one.
that leave could have been a lot worse.
7-10.
5.
Oh.
Put it right where she wanted to, but not much happened that time. And an 8 box will put her at 26.
The difference is 8 plus a ball for Deb. Still anyone's match.
Big fill here. And
5.
she fills it with 5, which will put her at 40 right now.
Leads up to 12.
Yes.
Big spare.
Back-to-back spares for Deb Regan.
That's her 5th spare on the day, 6 mark overall.
Bonus. And another spare leave, filling that with 7, puts her at 57.
She's got the 1-3-6. She's run the 4 horsemen twice on that side. Throws that same ball, she should take it.
Too full.
Heavy on number 1. $10. 67 after 6.
Melissa's looking at the 1-2-6-10.
Takes out the 1-2.
Tried to go outside on it.
Ooh.
That 9 box will put her at 45 for the half. 21 the difference. Nice spot for a mark opposite the 10 that Deb just put up in the 6th. The 9-10 What do you guys think?
I like where the two pieces of wood meet.
Yeah, I think that's your spot.
That's where she's going. A little too low.
If you throw a backup ball, you might want to go high on that and hope that the pin takes out the 9 and your ball takes out the 10. Like we saw Godwin throw in our previous ladders.
22 the difference. 13 in the string. 4 boxes to go.
And Melissa's going to have to get things going. Big ball by Deb.
Putting the pressure on. 6-10, but that wood is not angled. All that awesome.
Let's see.
Oof. Couldn't cover the 6.
$10.
It's not easy to make a judgment on how the ladies' balls are going to react to the wood because they don't throw it nearly as hard as the men do. So many times you throw the ball, it skips in the air, and they're driving through the wood, and the ball's staying on the lane. So they have I don't know if that's an advantage or not, but you know, when your ball is out of it completely because you throw it so hard, I guess this works in their favor.
I'd agree. I think hitting the red line here would.
Yes.
Well, I suppose that wouldn't work.
Her third mark of the 3rd string, Deb Regan.
I think that wood behind the second piece of wood helped it so that front wood, as soon as she hit it, was going to deflect to the right. So that works out in her favor.
Both of these women have put up some big numbers in their careers. Deb with a big 454 high triple.
7
box. 7 box will put Melissa at 61. I believe 26 is the difference. Plus Deb has a markup.
25.
25. Wow.
25.
That was close. That's why you guys are here. The expert commentary.
And there's a strike right on time from Melissa Caissie.
Couldn't have come at a better time. Deb is back up on lane 7. How big is this bonus ball at the conclusion of our first round matchup on Classic Candlepins? Light hit carries 6. Puts Deb at 93. Triangle left. 2, 4, 5, 10. No wood to help.
Not an easy shot.
I think you guys could make it, and I think Deb can too.
Let's see.
Just applied the 2 that time.
How often do you see a guy up there, or anybody should say a guy, you see a bowler up there, they throw it and they leave the 4-pin. You somehow manage to get the 10 and leave the 4-pin. It's so sad because the 10 pin's the hard one in that
Sure.
leave. You're like, how did I leave the 4? How's that even possible?
A 7 box will put Deb at 100. Four horsemen left plus the 9. Not an easy shot. Deb will be open to conclude the 3rd string.
Box is completed, you're down 25.
An 8 box.
An 8 box. 108 will put Deb at 326. 2 bonus balls for Melissa Caissie. Filling the strike in the 8th. A double here would put it right back in it.
Let's
that
see.
Looks good.
Well, here's a makeable spare leave. Tough one, but makeable.
see.
And
Could
coming
we
back
have some
for the
late action
7.
here?
Oh! So she fills the strike with 9. Nine in the box will put it at 89.
The deficit is 20. She picks up 3 on the fill and 2 in the box. Strike, spare, strike, ties it up.
Well, she's more than capable of it, as all the women are.
And what a big hit there.
Is that wood on the left angled?
I think
Low
it got
enough.
better now that it hit the end of the plate.
I agree.
No. So Deb Regan moves on. Second round matchup. 326, 306. How's my math?
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, well, someone has to be. Deb Regan moves on, defeating Melissa Caissie 326 to 306. We'll be back to talk to our bowlers right after this timeout.
And we're back at the conclusion of this match. Deb Regan dispatched Melissa Caissie 326 to 306. We're here with Melissa. You know, it looked like you had a tough day up there coming back. What was going through your mind during some of those boxes?
Just to get back to where I was 3 years ago before I stopped.
Well, how's it feel to be back on the lane? That must be great.
That feels really good. I actually felt good today. Maybe a return. We'll see.
I'm sure we'll see you on the lane again. This isn't going to be the only show that we have with the ladies, so I'm sure you'll be back. So it's good to have you on the lane. Looked like it was a tough match.
It was.
Melissa, in the last few boxes, you threw a big strike. Did you make any kind of adjustments?
None. I just kept throwing the ball. I was hoping to throw the double, but it didn't happen.
Well, you threw a good ball. It hit the pocket, and it just didn't work for you. So.
Yeah. I'll be back.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And we'll bring out Deb.
Deb, come on up.
We're here with the winner of the last ladder match, Deb. How'd it feel to be on the lanes and back on TV?
Excuse me. Pretty good. I didn't expect to be here. I got the call. I was a little afraid because a man came on my Facebook page, and I was a little afraid because I didn't know who it was. But when he told me he was from bowling, I was like excited to be able to come and do this again, because there's not going to be many more times when I'm going to be able to. I'm getting up there in age, and it felt good to beat somebody that's younger than me and still bowling pretty well. Melissa's had a rough go, so, you know, and I'm old.
40,
so it's kind of fair.
40's tough on you, huh, Deb?
Yeah. I try 60. Yeah, it's old. Yeah. So it was pretty fun.
Deb, you maintained the lead most of the string. In fact, probably all of the string. What did you do? I mean, did you feel confident up there?
Not at first. I felt like, you know, I wasn't hitting the head pin and I needed to readjust, and I couldn't really find my spot, but my working ball was working because I don't have one of those all the time. So I'm like, you know what? I'm taking it. It doesn't happen very often, so take it when it's there. That's why it's there.
The first half of the match, you were generating some really good action, which, you know, is also fun for the audience, fun for you, because it makes your shots easier and stuff like that. A couple of times you were looking down at the lane. Were you sticking? It looked like...
No, I was trying to find
your spot.
like where I should be, because the ball was breaking to the left a little bit more than I liked, and so I'm like, okay, move a tiny bit, but I don't like to move a whole lot on the lanes. I like to go up or back, so I had to make a little adjustment, and I'm not sure I did, just like Melissa said. I'm not sure I did, but it worked, so.
It worked out for you in the end, and we will be back shortly after our next match will be coming up with Deb Regan facing Janet Pock, the number 3 seed.
Well, that's how our first round series ends here on Classic Candlepins. Deb Regan moves on next week to face Janet Pock as she defeats Melissa Caissie 326 to 306. This was a match, Frank, where Deb off the top kind of started a little slowly, but she ended with a 74 half in that first string, and Melissa kind of had a hard time getting it going. And that's how this first round match ended.
Right, Deb finished with 3 marks in a row. That's where she kind of caught some momentum, and I think it was tough for Melissa to catch up with that. She stuck with her in the last 2 strings, but the deficit was just too much.
You know, this is a match where you may not see a lot of marks, but one of the things I thought was important that even though Melissa, I think she was up to 13 boxes in a row where she was open, but she pinned very well. In those 13 boxes, she only left 13 pins up. So
And that's what kept her in it.
right, and I think the same thing happened with Deb. I think she might have been open 12 in a row, but the same thing, you keep pinning. Actually, I think it was even less than 12 pins that she left up. So talk to our viewers a little bit about how important it is when you're trying to find your spot maybe, and the pins aren't necessarily mixing the way that you want to, but you have to keep pinning in order to stay in the match.
Well, that's kind of what covered the deficit, or at least kept Deb up over Melissa. It proves that, you know, you don't necessarily have to mark to win a game or win a match, but as long as you're making up those pins in the 3rd ball, that is sometimes the most important ball.
Well, I think that's also an underestimated aspect of the game and what makes Candlepins so great.
Absolutely.
So, very good. That's the end of our show. We look forward to seeing you next week. It'll be Deb Regan, who is our 5th seed, going against the Hall of Famer Janet Pock. For our entire crew and the legendary Frank Face.
You're very flattering, Kyle.
Well, it's who you are. I'm Kyle Bruce. We'll see you next week on Classic Candlepins.